Brahma Dance. Shrimanacharya Jayesh Bhagwanji Chitroda. Brahma. What is dance? Dancing as defined by the Indian Hindu Khumbar kingdom is a set of expressions that resemble many aspects of life. These include many types of Indian dancing forms completed as art forms explained by three sections: Bharatnatyam, Kathak, and Tandav. These aspects are set coordinated movement sequences of the Indian Hindu Khumbar kingdom where Bharatnatyam sequences past and present moods of accomplishments and creativity, Kathak sequences ancient Indian Hindu Khumbar historical stories, and Tandav sequences Indian Hindu Khumbar kingdom war celebrations. Music is very important to Indian Hindu Khumbar dancing with traditional instruments and sound-based movements in coordination to vocal musical notes and postures. Advanced dancers wear gungaru or small bells tied to the feet or wrist to create personal expressions of music whilst dancing in time to the musician's notes, and some solo dancers use the gungaru to create their own music without the need for musicians. In both cases, the Atta Codex is played with a syncretic historical value. Traditional Indian Hindu Khumbar dance artist wearing traditional gungaru. Brahma. Origination of dance. The concept of comprehensive dancing has always flowed through the Indian Hindu Khumbar kingdom as expressions of past history. The classification of dance is more than just an emotional response and is justified by its form or interpretation as performance to an audience. Non-Indian Hindu Khumbar kingdom dancing is not regarded as professional dancing but personal expression, as it doesn't have a atta value. The first noted dances were shown in the Indian Hindu Khumbar kingdom Nitya Sabha Mandirs and Indian Hindu Khumbar Havelis. These forms were first noted and shown by the Kalakar, Indian Hindu Khumbar professional arts demonstrator, in the Royal Imperial Courts of Bhagwan Mangal Dev Chitroda. Bhagwan Mangal Dev Chitroda would use the musical instruments to create melodies and then have a live trained dancer move to his improvised music composition, creating expression of his emotion and sound. All Indian Hindu Khumbar dance forms originated in India, Gujarat, and were then taught to various Indian Hindu Khumbar Royal Imperial provinces around India. Later dance forms were taught around the world, as the Indian Hindu Khumbar kingdom of Gujarat was the only imperial royal senate to export complete systems to its kingdom provinces, teaching and educating nishads and nomads. The most recent notable teaching of Indian Hindu Khumbar dance was taught to the Indian Hindu Khumbar Royal Imperial provinces of my ancestral Mahajaphet and Srivijaya Empire, covering every country in Asia. Brahma dance expressions. There are three forms of dance expressions. The first are completed comprehensive historical dance pieces known as classical Indian Hindu Khumbar dancing. The second are improvised musicians playing music and trained dancers moving to the heard notes of fixed form movements. And finally, modern public gatherings with staged music and public displaying emotional or mood dancing in accordance to cultural values. All expressions are based on structured dancing. However, the first two are comprehensive professional dancing, as music and sound have already been made into dancing movements and have a justification to the music and movements. Classical Indian Hindu Khumbar kingdom music and dance is also celebrated with makeup and traditional props, as it is a completed art form of dance, as there are several Indian Hindu Apsara and Devis that are noted within the Indian Hindu kingdom history that have real forms and attributes only known and summoned by Indian Hindu Khumbars. A Devi is an accomplished female with mastery over the 5 tattva or subjects of dance, music, martial arts, bhajans, itihas, and mathematics, and is from the Indian Hindu Khumbar kingdom with traceable roots. Apsara are learning students either starting or graduated from their first dance education and also have fully traceable roots Indian Hindu Khumbar kingdoms. Brahma. Indian Hindu Khumbar Kingdom core dance. Garba, Gujarat. Dance made from ancient Hindu martial arts consolidation including Tandav, Katha and Katak completion. Bharat, Nadiyum, Tamil Nadu. Story or Katha based dance forms. Kathak, Uttar Pradesh. Katha and stance movements of martial arts. Kathakali, Kerala. Story Katha dance sequences. Kunchippadi, Andhra Pradesh. Folk dancing with farming aspects and sequences. Odissi, Odisha. Comprehensive dance patterns with Katha and story-based approach. Gaidya Nritya, West Bengal. Indian province dance fusion. Ketriya, Assam. Dance based on farming moves and domestication sequences. Manipuri, Manipur. Farming dance sequences of domestication and celebration. Mohiniyattam, Kerala. Katha and martial arts encompassed with farming dance sequences. Chhau, Odisha, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. Katha dance fusion of Hindu arts. Brahma. Purpose of dance. The literal purpose of dance is for ceremonial, entertainment and enjoyment manifestation only. The justification of dance was included to create memorable events installed as cultural values of society or primitive tribes and cultures to create commercial enterprise through cultural festivals enabling network and family gatherings that encourage trade. Professional dancers and kalakas usually demonstrated and performed professional shows and displays during Hindu Kumbhara festivals in Royal Imperial Indian Hindu Kumbhar fortresses, castles, mandirs and havelis all around the world. The main point of the enterprise was to create and establish cultural identities where people could understand the hard work of creating the Indian Hindu Kumbhar kingdom and become part of the festivals and culture to Royal Imperial standards. Brahma. Hidden atar of Indian Hindu Kumbhar kingdom dance. Dance forms of the Indian Hindu Kumbhar kingdom are graded by religious importance with Garba at the highest level as it includes Indian Hindu Kumbhar public integration with other Indian Hindus. And it is practiced and performed every year as part of the Navratri festival throughout the 9 days and one Poonam, full moon, night where many ancient Indian Hindu Kumbhar martial arts sequences, stories, histories, music, aartis and dance are performed and practiced as a Indian Hindu community. Kathak and Mohiniyattam also have aspects of martial arts within them but not to the comprehension and cultural social inclusion of Garba. There are various hidden Indian Hindu Kumbhar martial arts moves within the dance structures that represent battlefield war-winning moves and stances. The Garba teaches the sphere around the body and awareness of the outer shell of the sphere defined by reach of length, with each position to have an atar code as to move within a sphere and touching points of it, whilst in a random martial arts performance mechanism creating individual personalities and style. The movements created are battlefield war notation or sequence capture within a logical peaceful display. That translates directly to the war history of the Indian Hindu Kumbhar kingdom creating a mesmerizing mental image of the performers and wartime actions leading to at a codex of stances within martial arts to further calculate the angles of the body to display the numbers tracing to the Indian Hindu Kumbhar warriors' itihas. Brahma. Indian Hindu dance methodology. The method of classical Indian Hindu Kumbhar kingdom dance starts off with the right foot as to protect the truth of practicing ancient historical dance sequences or pieces that are known as art forms of the ancient world. Indian Hindu Kumbhar male dancer are traditionally known as Mor or Mayuri and the females are traditionally known as Morani or Mayuri and translates as male and female glorious peacock birds. These aspects entitle the students to play their own methods of understanding to non-Indian Hindu Kumbhar religions and cultures as the body, mind and soul is already more tuned and abled with accomplished language, communication, body language and signs. The roles of Mayurs and Mayuri are just for Indian Hindu Kumbhas, as the family and heritage is greater in understanding a multicultural society rather than a fixed monotonous society. Hence the untrained eye, person, religion or culture may be amazed at the work and showing of a more Indian Hindu Kumbhar that has attended more than 10 Navratri festivals and has actively danced throughout the 9 days is usually awarded and can consider himself and herself as a Mayur or Mayuri. Brahma. Indian Hindu Kumbhar Kingdom Symbolism. The roots of all Indian Hindu Kumbhar royal and imperial dance movements are symbolic representations of the Indian Hindu Kumbhar kingdom, with refined pieces of dance sequences that Indian Hindu Kumbhars often adopt as life expressions, adding poetry language codex to their own representation of the Jeev. It is said that only 108 Indian Hindu Kumbhars are required to perform and keep the Indian Hindu Kumbhar history eternal through their own movements, creating symbolism of the ancient Indian Hindu Kumbhar kingdom. Today there are billions of eternal Indian Hindus adopting and keeping the ancient aspects of the Indian Hindu Kumbhar tradition, refining their own personalities, actions and lifestyle to understand the Royal Imperial Indian Hindu Kumbhar lifestyle and characteristics of graceful life movements, and speaking with true imperialistic language as it only exists for people of the Indian Hindu Kumbhar kingdom. एक कदम से दो कदम से पंच, हाथ से हुई है बात, नजरों से हुई है चल, संगीत से मिली है ताल और घुंघरू से हुई मेरी शान, है ये मोर और मोरनी का खेल बस एक पुराना कोई पहल।